Good evening, and welcome to your AIDailyPress evening podcast for June 2nd, 25. Firstly, tensions between Ukraine and Russia continue to escalate, with Ukrainian forces launching attacks on Russian nuclear-capable long-range bombers and airbases. This has raised concerns about a potential global conflict, with European nations bolstering their defense systems and discussions underway about creating a more independent nuclear deterrent. In another significant development, Polish nationalist opposition candidate Karol Nawrocki has won the country's presidential election, securing approximately 51% of the votes. His victory is likely to have significant implications for Poland's relationships with its European Union partners, as well as its stance on issues like immigration and economic policy. Lastly, we're also following a range of other global conflicts, including renewed violence in Gaza, tensions between India and Pakistan, and a standoff between the US and China over Taiwan. With many people believing that a more destructive global conflict could erupt within the next decade, officials are stressing the need for caution and restraint. We'll continue to monitor these situations and provide updates as more information becomes available. For now, thank you for joining us on this evening's podcast. We'll be back with more news after this break. That's all for now. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, we've been following the devastating conflict in Gaza, where a series of attacks has left many civilians affected. The humanitarian crisis continues to worsen, with criticism mounting against the U.S.-Israeli aid mechanism for perpetuating the situation. Our thoughts are with the people of Gaza and all those impacted by this ongoing conflict. In West Africa, a surge in insurgent attacks has resulted in the loss of dozens of soldiers' lives. The al-Qaeda-linked rebel group, Jama'a Nusrat-ul-Islam, Wa al-Muslimin, has claimed responsibility for these attacks on military bases in Mali and Timbuktu. The situation in the Sahel region remains complex and multifaceted, with poverty, corruption, and poor governance contributing to the instability. Lastly, in the aviation industry, Emirates has announced plans to keep its fleet of Airbus A380 double-deckers flying until the end of the next decade. This decision comes as the airline invests billions into refreshing its A380s, seeking to extend their lifespan. With no obvious replacement currently available, Emirates is committed to upgrading its first-class cabins and awaiting the delivery of the Boeing 777-7X. These stories highlight the complexities and challenges faced by various regions around the world. We'll continue to monitor these situations and provide updates as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us tonight on the AI Daily Press. Until next time, good evening. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, we took a closer look at Nomura's recent upgrade of the Indian market, citing a strong rebound in corporate earnings and an improving economic outlook. Our expert analysts weighed in on the potential opportunities and risks associated with this development. Next, we examined two fascinating companies, Chewy, Inc., which has seen its stock surge over 25% in the past month, and S-Corp, a niche pawn lending model that presents a contrarian value opportunity for long-term investors. Our analysts provided valuable insights into the pros and cons of investing in these companies. Lastly, we brought you up to speed on the latest developments in the global markets, including the escalation of trade tensions between the U.S. and China, the impact of the Russia-Ukraine conflict on energy supplies, and the Federal Reserve's upcoming decisions on interest rates. We also touched on the recent performance of major indexes, with Wall Street closing out its best month since November. As always, we remind our listeners to stay informed, do their due diligence, and make wise investment decisions based on their individual financial goals and risk tolerance. That's all for tonight. Thank you for joining us on this special report from the AI Daily Press. Until next time, good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Now, for the latest in science and technology, here is Karol Nawrocki.
Thank you, Louis. First, a new study suggests that the collision between the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies may be less likely than previously thought. While the possibility still exists, researchers are refining their understanding of the cosmos, and this new information has significant implications for our understanding of the universe. In other news, a recent report highlights the challenges facing astronauts on long-duration space missions. From mental health concerns to sustainable food production, the obstacles are numerous. But innovators are working on solutions such as virtual reality headsets and controlled environment agriculture. Finally, the Milky Way Photographer of the Year Awards have unveiled a stunning collection of astronomical photographs that showcase the beauty of the night sky. These breathtaking images not only inspire us to explore the universe, but also highlight the importance of preserving our planet's dark skies from urbanization and development. That's all for tonight's edition of the AI Daily Press. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. I'm your host, Howard. Here's a brief summary of our top stories tonight. We began with a look at the Kansas City Chiefs' efforts to revamp their vertical passing game, a crucial aspect of their offense that could significantly impact their performance in the upcoming season. With a mix of experienced and new talent, including Xavier Worthy and Tyquan Thornton, the team is showing signs of improvement in this critical area. In other news, we recap the latest developments in the MLB season, where every game counts as teams battle for playoff spots. The Brewers' winning streak, the struggles of the Twins and Braves, and impressive performances from players like Marcus Semien, James Wood, and Jeremy Pena were all highlighted. We also touched on the Chiefs' plans to improve their deep ball strategy, with quarterback Patrick Mahomes emphasizing the importance of testing defenses down the field. The team's passing camp and organized team activities have showcased the speed and skill of their receivers, giving fans reason to be excited about the upcoming season. Finally, we noted the emergence of young stars like James Wood, who is on track to hit 30 homers this season, a feat only a few players in Nationals history have achieved. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press. Until next time, good night. Now, for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curel.
Thank you, Howard. First, we celebrated the vibrant spirit of community with a story about the power of music and culture to bring people together. We explored how a local event is using art to foster connection and understanding among neighbors. Next, we traveled to Robbins Air Force Base, where we met the dedicated team from the Office of the Staff Judge Advocate. These unsung heroes are working tirelessly behind the scenes to provide critical legal support to active duty members, and their commitment to serving with compassion and excellence is truly inspiring. Finally, we examined the evolving role of the Chief Information Security Officer in the age of artificial intelligence. We heard from experts like Aaron McCrae, who emphasized the importance of building an AI-fluent security culture and balancing innovation with tradition. As we reflect on these stories, we're reminded that even in unexpected places, we can find wisdom, resilience, and a deep appreciation for the human experience. Whether it's through music, community service, or cybersecurity, we see the power of ordinary people doing extraordinary things to make our world a better place. That's all for tonight's podcast. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of what makes us human. Until next time, good night, and may we always remember to appreciate the unsung heroes who make a difference in our lives every day. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First up, we have the latest on Stars' plans to break into Hollywood's big league. With a focus on niche audiences and creating content that resonates with them, it's going to be a wild ride. We'll be keeping a close eye on how this all plays out. Next, we're diving into the latest season of And Just Like That. The girls are back together again, but there are still some kinks to work out. With a grade of B, we're hoping that with 9 more episodes to go, we'll get the closure we deserve. Lastly, we're shining the spotlight on the Artisans Exchange, where talented professionals in film and television gathered to share their insights and experiences. From costume design to production, it's clear that collaboration and creativity are key to bringing characters and stories to life. That's all for tonight, folks. Stay fabulous, and until next time. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we explored the fascinating world of polar science, delving into the frozen landscapes of the Arctic and Antarctica. We discussed how these regions hold the key to understanding our planet's climate, environmental dynamics, and even human evolution. Renowned scientist Neil Shubin's latest book takes us on a thrilling adventure through the polar regions, examining broader issues such as climate change, geopolitics, and the lives of pioneering explorers. In another story, we reported on a recent jaguar attack in the Pantanal region of Brazil, which has raised concerns about human-wildlife conflict. The incident has sparked fears among local residents and prompted calls for increased safety measures and conservation efforts. We discussed the need for better coexistence between humans and jaguars in the region, and the importance of finding a balance between conservation efforts and human safety. Lastly, we took a journey through time to explore the history of our planet's environment, using the Pantanal biome as an example. We also examined the unique value of urban areas like the city of New York, highlighting the importance of preserving natural habitats and ecosystems for future generations. These stories remind us of the awe-inspiring beauty and complexity of our world, and the critical importance of preserving these fragile ecosystems for future generations. That's all for tonight's summary. Thank you for joining me on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, good night. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David at Tenature for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.